Hi everybody, Lori here for Concord 9th. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to introduce you to the new Oh Hey Stamps, Dies, and Stencils. This is a really fun combination bundle that is very much like we had one previously that was called Sending Hugs. And this is very much like that, but now we have a new sentiment that says, oh, hey. So it's great for all occasions. Here's a little mini stamp set with some sentiments that say, you're A-okay, let's celebrate, just wanted to say, have a nice day, rough day. And then you have You're My Fave. And little images, little diamonds, 2 different sizes, and then a little bloom stamp that you can add detail to your backgrounds. Now for the Oh Hey dies, again, you have those 2 different sizes of diamonds, a banner for the sentiment, and then a bloom. I'll dive more into all the dies in a minute. Here is a closer look at the Oh Hey stencil set. This is a layering stencil set. There are 4 stencils in the pack. They're size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's a perfect A2 size, canvas. It just fits perfect on an A2 size card. So here's what the 4 stencils look like. And then I'm going to show you, I blended them all to show you how the detail builds up. Okay, so for the first one, just the Oh Hey outline. This is what she's going to look like. I blended it with grapefruit ink. And it looks great. You could stop right there if you want to keep it really, really simple. You could also add some gradient with some darker shades. But I love this font. I love the size of it, how it fits a whole entire card front. If you want to go one step further and add more detail, here's the shadow, which I did out of Aqua Sky. And so that one just adds another pop. Here's stencil 3. Gives that detail on the inside of the letters, which I blended with sorbet ink. And then the final one, more detail. I blended this with poppy. Almost makes the letters look like they're coming out at you, like 3D. So that's all 4. You can go as simple as you want, all the way to all the bells and whistles. And any way in between, it's going to look fabulous. Now for the dies, you have the large die that die cuts the Oh Hey out all in one shebang. And that's perfect. Then you have the banner. I die cut 3 different colors, stamped them with several different sentiments. So you can see how this works for a lot of different occasions. And it looks great when you die cut a banner out of, say, Aqua Sky and then stamp the sentiment with Aqua Sky. There's 2 different sizes of diamonds, which you can layer. Like here you have the little one layered on top of the larger one. Gives you some different looks. You could also take the small diamond and stamp it on a larger diamond die cut for another look. Now for the bloom stamp, I stamped that on a bloom die cut just to show you some variation. I also added an enamel dot in the same color, and you can get a lot of different looks. You can zhuzh these blooms, bend them, lift them, and get some fun looks with that. Okay, now for the banner, I just want to know, when you die cut it, it scores it on the ends, so it makes it really easy to fold that in and make a perfectly kind of swoopy looking banner. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate how to blend this. I'm going to start. They're not really numbered, but I'm going to show them in the order that I, walked through them. So this is the first one, just the solid outline, Oh Hey. And I'm starting with grapefruit ink. I'm starting light, but you can definitely blend this and build it as intense as you want to go. You could also make it gradient. I do want to mention, when you're blending over the O, if you're an aggressive blender like me, I would hold down that middle part because it can move. Or you want to use some pixie spray on the back of your stencil to, really hold down your stencil well. But I find just holding it down with my finger or my thumb does the trick. So this is what it's going to look like after blending just the solid Oh Hey. It's so fun and simple. It's almost giving me retro vibes. It's giving me Coca-Cola font, which I love. Every time I see that in marketing, I always say to my daughters, I love that font. Anywho, moving on. Here's the shadow, doing that out of Aqua Sky. I'm also using these small Concord 9th blender brushes, which are great for getting in small areas. And I do think it's nice if you blend in one direction and then blend in the opposite direction. You know how they say, what's the Karate Kid? wax on, wax off, because it gets in all the different nooks and crannies of the stencil. So this is the shadow using Aqua Sky, and it just adds more detail. Again, you can make this as simple or as fancy schmancy as you prefer. Every step looks beautiful. I'm going to put this back down and lay on the third stencil, which is the detail that is in the inners of the letters. These are my technical terms, the inners. Now, since I blended the outer with grapefruit, I'm blending the inner with sorbet, and it's just one shade darker. It's not really a competition in color, just kind of a tone on tone, but you can get a lot of different looks if you want to do this in a dark navy, maybe a bright red. So the sky's the limit with color combinations. And here's how that looks when you remove the stencil. You can see how everything just starts to pop. It makes you look like you really know what you're doing. Okay, fourth and final stencil. Now I wanted to do something that was even one shade darker than the sorbet, so I pulled out Poppy. And the interesting thing about Poppy on top of sorbet is it kind of turns into almost like a deep red terracotta, like an orangey red. It just goes with it, and it kind of ties in when you go on top of another color. And again, I'm trying to blend to the right and blend to the left to get in all those nooks and crannies, and look at how this turned out. The detail is incredible. So there you have the Oh Hey blended with all four stencils. And then I'm going to show you a couple cards that I've created using these. Try to get two different looks. Here's the one that I blended on screen. I took that bloom and stamped it all over the background of an oceanside panel with oceanside ink. I did a banner out of sorbet, stamped the sentiment with sorbet ink. So it's got a lot of tone on tone going here. Now this one steals my heart. The rainbow blend, and then I stripped it up on the background. It's the delicious Concord 9th Spectrum. I added some dewdrops for embellishment. The banner was die cut with Aqua Sky. I stamped the sentiment with Aqua Sky. And there you have the introduction to the new Oh Hey stamps, dies, and stencils. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.